Brian, do you know you have it set up that way?
Yeah, you've got presenter view instead of viewer view, Brian.
Oh, standby.
Make it a little bit easier for those people on phones to see. They only have one screen to look at.
Right.
That better?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Perfect. All right.
All right. Well, it is 7 o'clock straight up. Why don't we give it 2 minutes and then we'll get started.
Okay. I'm taking attendance for those that are on the call. Can someone tell me whose phone number is 260-578-0435? And who is Mike's iPhone? Can everybody change their name to what your real name is? Can we do that, please? That'd be real helpful. You guys crack me up. Oh, I love popcorn.
These just help with your strategy of just mass stand.
Hey, Brian.
Sir.
Didn't do the other stuff that was required because I've been working 12s and getting up early. Zoom meetings in the evening and then not getting home until noon. So the other stuff that I'm participating in the meeting, but I haven't done the quick link stuff yet from the email.
It's all good.
All right.
All right, Brian, it's 7:02. Let's get rolling here. So why don't I kick us off? First of all, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We don't plan to take a whole lot of time with you tonight, but want to give everybody some just some information that we know right now and give you some information to begin processing your sale and begin planning for some of the changes that we know are coming so that everyone can be successful and take full advantage of some of the new opportunities. And so I want to give you kind of a sense of the, let's call it the COVID-19 pandemic impact that we're expecting on the sale and that we're expecting as a result of our conversations with our popcorn partner, Trails End. So as a result of the pandemic, they've been forced to make some alterations to their production. Certainly supply chain issues become a challenge. There are other challenges regarding credit and essentially each fall Trails End extends about $17 million worth of credit to local councils who then extend credit to local units in the terms of product in your hands that's not paid for. Trails End can't get that kind of credit this year, nor can the local council. So that's going to force some changes. So let's kind of walk through those, and I'll give you a sense of what we're talking about. So out of a need to create some social distance in their facilities, and because of the supply chain issues, Trails End has been forced to slow production on a few of their items. They are the leading producer of processed popcorn in the United States. They produce popcorn for Kroger, for Skinny Pop, for Walmart, a whole bunch of other companies. So when they say they're experiencing issues, that means essentially that anyone who likes to buy and eat popcorn is experiencing these issues, and all of their customer base. And so in addition to the challenges that have slowed production, there's increased demand for microwave product. With people staying home more, they're seeing microwave product fly off the shelves, which is going to cause some challenges for us. As a result of that, as a result of the demand and the slowed production, it's going to lead to a narrower product offering for us this year. And so if you followed the sale over the last, I don't know, I've been doing this for 20 years. We've gone everywhere from as few as 6 products on a sales form to as many as 13. This year, we're going to pare that down some from last year based on necessity. And so what you're going to see as we get further into the sale is a smaller take order form with fewer options, but those options are going to directly mirror the same pricing that we have online. So that's going to be a benefit to us, and part of the reason we want to talk a little bit tonight and a little earlier than we would typically. They're also investing significantly in the app. The Popcorn app last year was a tremendous success, and so they're making some investments on that, and have created a way that Scouts can sell door to door without having any contact with their customer. So we'll talk through that a little bit as we go through this. So as a result of this, it's also changing the way we manage, distribute, swap, return product, and places some concerns in everybody's minds about handing out product to a Scout family who then returns it back to the unit popcorn kernel, who then wants to trade it with another popcorn kernel or return it to the council. So that whole process becomes a little bit different as we look at the coronavirus and what this fall might shape up to be. And then partly as a result of production, partly demand, and then again, those credit terms and the desire not to have a whole lot of product get stuck with anyone. Think about what happened to the Girl Scouts this fall, right? Or this spring. They were in the process of distributing and selling millions of dollars worth of cookies, and then suddenly had to stop. And so people like Jeff Rattray may have cookies stuck in their basement that they can't sell. Likely he hasn't even gotten them from the council yet because they just sat on them, or their producer produced hundreds of thousands of boxes of cookies and then never distributed them to the Girl Scouts. They're marketed that way. They can't be sold in Walmart or anywhere else. And so there's a heightened sense of we need to be better stewards of the product that we have this year in order to mitigate all of those significant liabilities. So Brian, let's walk a little bit further, and I might lean on you a little bit to help here, but I'll kind of get us kicked off. So I kind of rolled out the enhancements that they're making to the app. One of those is the online direct enhancement. And essentially what this allows you to do is a Scout who's using the app can go door to door. They can ring a neighbor's doorbell. They can take an order through the app from the neighbor. The neighbor says, you know what, I loved that, I don't know, white cheddar cheese popcorn that I bought last year. I'll do 2 of those again. The Scout can punch the order into their phone and then send the customer a text message with a link, which would allow the customer to use their own phone to complete the sale and make payment. And therefore, at that point, nothing is trading hands between the customer and the Scout. And then the customer could have that product shipped directly to them. So the product prices will match. There is a delivery cost. It's $7.99 for the first item, 99 cents for each additional item. But Trails End has already announced their first free shipping weekend, or stretch will be for the July 4th holiday. And so we really want to make sure that all of our current Scouts know that essentially you could reach out to all of your customers that you had last year with an online direct type sale. They could place their order, they could pay for their order via credit card, and it could ship directly to their house without the scout ever having to touch the product. You know, I think about my personal situation, right? We moved here from the St. Louis area. Half of my kids' sales are friends and family in St. Louis. Each year during Thanksgiving and Christmas, we take a carload of popcorn back. We won't be doing that this year. We'll be selling popcorn over the 4th of July holiday using this online direct mode so that our customers can have their product shipped directly to them with no shipping costs. So I know there will be a lot of questions about how this works. Literally, the information we have is on the screen in front of you because we're just trying to roll it out. But and we're just getting it, but we want to make sure that you know about it so that you can begin communicating with your scouts that, hey, now's the time to make sure you remember what your Trails End app login and password is. Go ahead and initiate your app again and take a look at it because there's going to be a free shipping weekend that we want you to take advantage of. In addition, Brian, is there anything I missed there, or can I kind of, I guess I didn't talk about the points. Let me do that a little bit. We're going to circle back to that.
Ben, let's do the points when we get to the screen that talks about the prize program. That makes more sense there.
Yeah, that's fine with me. All right, so let's move on to promotions a little bit, Brian. We'll get to that. And then we'll circle back with whatever questions you have towards the end. So based on sales totals last year, Trails End is going to direct ship scouts some square readers if they're interested in them. And so scouts who sold 1,000 to 3,500 will get a square reader that's a headphone jack or a lightning jack. Those scouts that sold 3,500 or more are going to get the contactless one. But again, in that online direct format, a customer could complete the online sale without having to swipe anything. They can do it through their own phone. So,
hello everybody. I want to add in today, I logged into my children's Scout Trails End accounts, and the first thing that popped up was your Scout earned a reader. Which one do you prefer? You click on it, or you can decline the offer, and then you have to fill out first name, last name, and where you want it shipped to. So it's an automatic pop-up to any Scout. So it's nothing that the colonels have to remind. It's an automatic when they log in.
Great.
That was really cool.
So I've invited Pack 3511's popcorn colonel, who happens to be my wife, to join me at this meeting. So for those of you that live in this world, some of these things are happening before we know. I had no idea how this process would work. So that's real-time information that you're going to see that once a scout in your pack who was a top seller logs into their account, they may have information that you don't, just like this. And so that's how the readers will work. Again, with the online direct option and the contactless option through the app, you may not need it. Scouts may not need it. Every scout has the ability to punch in credit card information via a keypad instead of swiping it. And what we're really trying to drive as much of the sales towards credit card sales and online direct sales as possible. So Brian, we'll kind of move along to some of the app improvements. Again, there's a bunch of information on here for you. Essentially, when it comes to the app, Trails End heard the feedback from unit leaders last year, and they've made a ton of improvements. You know, we had a lot of people that said it just takes too many clicks to get to what I want. And so they've figured out a way to make it 4 clicks to a sale instead of 9 clicks to a sale. And when you were going door to door last year, it defaulted to the product was delivered, and they didn't want that. So now you have the option when you make your first sale to set your default preference either delivered or undelivered. And you're going to see a whole host of other changes and improvements to the app. Again, I would suggest that as soon as you can, you as a colonel, go ahead and get that updated app, kick the tires on it, take a look. But priority number one and recommendation number one for all of you is we need to do whatever we can to make sure that scouts are prepared and informed enough to sell July 1st. And they're getting some emails now. You're likely getting some emails now directly from Trails End to that regard. But we don't want anybody to miss out on this first opportunity for the free shipping. I think that's going to be a huge opportunity, and it's going to be a huge boost to sales that will just help everybody get a better sense. So there's improvements to the app. There's improvements to the leader portal to make it a little bit easier for the leader to manage. Trails End, again, is the units will have no cost associated with sales for credit card. And so there is no reason for you not to push credit card or not to push credit card. There's no service fee associated with your sale for that, including to the extent that we're now encouraging families that if a family makes a cash sale, they can transition that into a credit card sale and pay the unit for the popcorn via credit card instead of a Scout family taking a $20 bill from their neighbor and handing it off to the popcorn kernel. So really anything we can do in this sale that will allow it to be contactless, we're working to do that. So Brian, did I miss anything that's a real big highlight here on the app improvements?
No, at this point, I think we've covered everything with the app. I think the main thing to take away from the app at this point is that all of the things that you guys were telling us through the course of the sale last year have been addressed. It's so much simpler than it was before. The truncated timeline that Ben talked about, we'll get more into that here in a little bit. The sale's just going to look different this year. It's going to look different because it has to look different. But I think the improvements with the app will aid in the contactless sales that we think it's going to take for the Scouts to be successful this year. So we'll keep going on, but I think we're right on track, guys.
Great. So let's move on to rewards. I kind of hinted at there was a change to rewards. If you're a linear person like me, you love the simplicity of $1 in sales equals X reward. If you're like me, this is going to be a little bit of a shock to your system, so brace for it. Essentially, what we're doing is we're trading the dollar total equals X prize for a point total equals X prize. And so if you see that big window in the bottom right of your corner there, of your screen there, it says, for every $1 sold using the online direct, which means you sell online, it ships direct to the customer, either over the phone, online direct, door-to-door online direct, but essentially credit card sale through the app, direct delivered to the customer, including that free weekend over July 4th with free shipping. Every dollar counts for 2 points. So then if you take a credit or debit card that's not online direct, let's say this is going to be a take order that you're taking credit or debit, you get 1.5 points. Again, incentivizing credit card sales because there's less exchange of cash, less exchange of passing items back and forth between a Scout and their customer. And we know that customers who use credit typically spend more. So helping to incentivize Scouts to remember that they can take credit card as opposed to only taking cash. And then for every product that's just a plain cash sale, there's 1 point. And so all of the prizes, the prize levels will be based off of total points instead of dollars sold. This makes it a little bit harder for Scouts to forecast their sale, right? You know, typically we would have said, if you want to sell $300, sell $100 online and $100 for door and $100 store. And that was simple for a Scout to understand. Now, if we say, you really want to get to that 3,000 point level. So you need to you have to earn 3,000 points, right? And you can do that in a couple different ways, but ideally, you want to aim for the items that, or the methods that are 2-point methods or 1.5-point methods, and not the 1-point methods, right? That's what we're incentivizing our scouts to do. So this is going to be, I think if anything, this is probably going to be the area that is causes the most confusion. It's relatively simple, but it's not simple enough to just say 1 equals 1. So just know that going in, that it's a change. At the end of the day, it benefits scouts. Scouts can earn better rewards and more Amazon cash by participating and by focusing on online direct and credit card sales, but it isn't as linear and simple to understand as it was.
I think what I would add there is that when the scout is in the app selling and they're looking at their dashboard, it will compute this all on its own. You don't have to worry about figuring out, was that a cash sale? Was that an online direct? How many points did I earn? That is automatically going to be tracked in the app for that scout. So while it's a change and while it is something new, it's not something that we're going to have to manage as the sale goes on as Popcorn Kernels. It's an automatically changed thing for us that the scout just has to, my sons were in the room the other day when we were looking at this, and they were like, oh, so I have to get 800 points, or I need to earn 800 points to earn a $30 gift card. I was like, yes, and this is how you earn points. And my 9-year-old was like, boom, I got that. I got to sell less popcorn than what I did before if I get him to buy with a credit card. Boom, my 9-year-old got it and blew me out of the water. So this is not, it's not hard, it's just different, but it's going to be tracked on its own. And the scout needs to just get into the habit of, can I get you to pay by credit card and let me ship this product to your house so we don't have to spread germs and touch popcorn for you. Very, very simple. We just have to get in the habit of asking for it that way.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
So let's move on to the next slide, the reward slide. So again, scouts earn double points for online direct. It certainly makes it easier. This reward program we moved to last year was incredibly popular, and what we heard over and over and over from Popcorn Kernels was, at the end of the sale, to not have to worry about distributing prizes was a lifesaver, right? When the sale is over, you're done. The last thing you want is a box full of prizes that you got to track down the scouts and get it to them. So scouts were rewarded earlier. They earn higher rewards through this, and the options are endless as to what they can get. So it's just been fantastic. I know my kids love the option to shop Amazon and pick anything they want, and it really kind of motivated them. The other piece that Emily just reminded me was when your scout enters a goal into the app, it's automatically going to track the progress towards that goal, and it's automatically going to continue to remind them, hey, you're almost at this goal, but you're just a little bit from the next goal. So, a little more effort, and you can move from a $300 gift card to a $375 gift card. So I am really excited about the app. I think it's going to be a huge help. It was great last year, but the enhancements, the improvements this year, and everything we're going through and expect this fall, it's going to make life so much easier. I envision a popcorn sale where some of our popcorn kernels might not touch product at all. It's possible that they could do their entire sale shipped online direct, even if just a portion of sale is shipped online direct. That's less popcorn sitting in your living room. That's less popcorn that we're moving from person to person. It just makes everybody's life a little bit easier. So as a result of that, we're going to end up kind of stopping the sale, right? So we're not going to be able to put as much product out into the hands of our units and on the street as we have in the past, because we're not going to get it from Trails End, right? They've already kind of told us, last year we put $450,000 worth of product out at the beginning of the sale for storefront sales. We know that number is going to be cut in half for us. We're going to have $250,000 or $225,000 worth of product that we can have on the front end of the sale. And so driving the sale towards online and doing a better job of that is going to help us manage that product a little bit better. We also know that there's going to be some changes in availability of storefronts. We've been informed from Kroger that they're not comfortable having scouts in front of their stores this fall with everything that they expect. And so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think we've got the tools to overcome quite a bit of that. So if you look on your screen now, this is what the product line on the take order form this year. These are the products that we're going to physically be able to get our hands on and provide to units. We will not be able to get our hands on any chocolate product physically as a council without ordering it through the online portal and having it shipped. So that's going to be a change, right? A lot of grandmas like to buy that chocolate tin. That's the grandma tin. And so if grandma wants to buy the chocolate tin because that's what she always buys, you got to get her to buy it online direct. And your best option to do that is our 4th of July weekend, because there's no shipping. Again, we know this is a big change. The other big change is we're not going to have microwave butter available to us. The only way you're going to be able to get microwave butter or the chocolate products is through the online portal. Now, the plus is the online prices are going to match the take order form prices, so there's no difference there. And we know that customers are constantly paying shipping fees for other things. It's become a part of the norm. It's kind of expected, but we really want to be able to take the full advantage of those free shipping options that they're going to put forward. So you see those changes that we've got. Obviously, there's the cheese lovers we'll have available, the salted caramel. There's some new blazing hot popcorn that should be a great seller for those that like something creative. The pre-popped white cheddar popcorn. We're going to have a new unbelievable butter pre-popped option available that we haven't had before. That kind of takes the place of having microwave butter on hand. Popping corn is moving from the plastic bag to a jar, and that goes from a $10 product to a $15 product, and then the caramel corn increased from $10 to $12.
And let's clarify, Ben, that is a plastic jar, not a glass jar.
Yeah, thank you. That's worth noting. So those are the product mix changes. Again, we'll provide a lot more information about this when we get into the sale. The main focus of our call tonight was really just to give you the information that's vital for you to have now, so that our scouts don't miss out on some great opportunities. We were also informed on a call with our partners at Trails End today that they're going to also add in some bonus commission for July and August sales. And Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but as I jotted down, what I think they're doing is there will be an additional 5% commission for all online direct sales in the month of July through the first half of August. So July 1 through August 15th.
That's correct.
And that's their way of, let me just be kind of direct with you. It is to their advantage to spread the production time of the sale out a little bit longer, and to produce product in a more real-time real-time process, right? They don't want to get stuck with a whole lot of product left over. They don't want councils or units to get stuck with a whole lot of product left over. And they know that we just can't we can't operate a sale with the same type of return policy that we've had in the past. So we're going to have to be better stewards by eliminating our returns and trying to provide units with exactly what they need and nothing more. And then be able to replenish that on a weekly basis as people need it. So Brian, I think, oh no, we got one more slide, don't you? A couple more slides. So let's go on. These are some of the items that are available online direct. So obviously you've got the chocolate products there. There are no products that include nuts or pretzels this year. So you've got chocolatey caramel crunch, and then the chocolate lovers tin, or the chocolatey caramel crunch tin, and the salted caramels are popcorn. They are not nuts. There are no nuts in those products.
And to clarify, for those that are looking at the screen, those are chocolate covered pieces of caramel, not chocolate caramel popcorn. So if you get the chocolate lovers box or the chocolate salted caramels, those are pieces of caramel that are covered in chocolate, not a chocolate caramel popcorn. That needed to be clarified.
Great. And then Brian, let's look at the chocolate lovers tin.
There we go.
Chocolate lovers tin has 2 of those dark chocolate salted caramels and a bag of the chocolatey caramel crunch. There's a chocolate lovers bundle. There's the cheese lovers bundle. From time to time, Trails End will also put other products onto their online system that are available for online direct shipping. But these are the bulk of the products that will be available when a kid logs into their app and wants to do online direct. So we still have access to the same amount of products we typically have. You just don't have access to them all physically up front, right? So it makes it a little bit easier for kernels not to have to handle so many different SKUs and products, but also helps eliminate overages and returns and shuffling product and all of that. So we've got some upcoming trainings where we'll have more information and more in-depth information and really be prepared to help everybody have a successful sale and provide some training on the app and things like that. Again, our focus tonight was really just to give everyone a head start so that we don't miss out on the beginning of July and free shipping, and then the July-August bonus commission. Brian, you want to open it up for some questions, or is there anything else you want to cover at this point?
So the only thing I would address is on the slide that you see there now, July 9th, that training will be in Logansport. July 14th, we have one in Lafayette. July 15th, we will have one in Kokomo at a location to be determined. Our location that we had scheduled had to bail on us because of some COVID concerns. So we do have 3 trainings coming up. If you already RSVP'd to the Camp Buffalo training or any of the fall recruitment trainings, we canceled those today. You should have gotten an email from Allison indicating that those have been canceled, and we will have a fall recruitment online virtual training later in the month of July. But we're not prepared at this point to talk a lot about fall recruitment in conjunction with popcorn because it's just a little bit too early for a lot of our school systems for us to be able to have a plan to put in place for fall recruitment. So that's where we're at with that. Let's open it up to some questions. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Okay. I see a question in the chat. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. Hang on so I can read it. All the trainings during our 4-H fair like normal. Can I get you more for the material? Yeah, Jessica, we can take care of materials. That's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a matter of it's just gonna be a matter of when do we have them. Right now, we don't know when we're gonna get materials from them. We may not have them by the time we're at these July trainings, and we got to get them to you after the fact. Everything is just kind of running a little bit later than what we would normally like except the popcorn sale, it's starting earlier. So, you know,
I just know every
what we can with what we have right now.
right. I just know every year, all of the popcorn trainings happen when we are doing our fair. And being an exhibit board member, I'm not able to get out of there for 2 weeks. So, and I've been doing this for 10 years now. So,
Yeah, no, we'll take care of you. We'll get you what you need either at the Kokomo office or bring it to you.
okay, thank you.
We'll take care of materials.
All right.
Brian, Lindsay asked if a kindergartner can sell. Lindsay, I would say absolutely. If you got a kindergartner coming in, go ahead and get them set up to sell. And the easiest way for you to register them is through Via Scout. You can register them, pay, and your unit leader approve it all online. So no need to send an application to the office. Push that through, and then you can get them registered to sell through the Popcorn app as well, and get rolling.
Yep. I saw a
Thank
question.
you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I saw a question from Diana Baltz. So we can start sales online July 1st. Yes. I guess theoretically you could start sales today. They're just not going to count towards the 5% bonus commission that Trails In is offering until July 1st. So I would wait till July 1st. I'd take the next 5 or 6 days to send out some communication to your Packer troop, encourage them to log into their account, play with the app a little bit, you know, just get familiar with those things that are different and new so that on July 1st, next week, they can hit the ground running and we could really get a jump on this sale before we get too deep into the summer, before we get too deep into fall recruitment. And then when we get the new kids on board in the fall and we start meeting face-to-face again, which many of us haven't done since March, you know, we'll be able to just kind of get everybody else up to speed with the normal take order forms if they're going to do those. Personally, I'm not sure my family will use a take order form. We'll have them for the pictures, but everything will be done through the app. There's really no reason to write on a take order form anymore. Now we'll have them for those that want them and those that struggle with cell phone signal and things like that. But I'm not sure they're 100% necessary. Like Ben said, we could go through this entire sale this year and you as a popcorn colonel, could you imagine not having to touch an ounce of popcorn, but still sell $20,000 worth of popcorn? That'd be incredible.
Right.
So,
Hey, Brian, the other piece I'd add to that is we've got 6 days before that July 1 mark. What we're doing with our kids now is just kind of reminding them, hey, you know, remember, let's practice our pitch. Here's how we go about selling. And then we're beginning to reach out to family and friends and say, hey, it's popcorn time. We're going to be calling or we'll send you the kids' link in the next week or so. So just be on the lookout when it comes. There's a free shipping opportunity, and we want to make sure that you buy over the July 4th holiday, right? We know that some customers won't react to the first prompting. We don't want people to start on July 4th and then to take grandma 3 days to dig the email out of her junk email and we miss the window.
So I saw a question here. What are the commissions this year and what payment systems can people use besides credit cards? At this point, there aren't any additional options through the app with the exception of credit cards. Credit cards are the only option that's built in. I think they'd like to get to PayPal and Venmo and Cash App eventually, but right now it is just a credit card sale. And truthfully, that's enough. Everybody carries credit cards. Nobody carries cash. And if they do carry cash, they're carrying less than 20 bucks. So we don't want them to pay with cash. We want them to pay with card because the sales go up by like 60% when they pay with a credit card.
They could pay for cash, right? So your Scouts options are cash or credit, but no others, just to be clear there.
Yep. And then the question about commissions, we're still working through that internally. We'll have some more of that information when we do the trainings next month. We're trying to work through that and trying to see what's going to work best for everybody.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a lot like last year. I think that's kind of the feedback we've gotten that was good for people that did what it needed to do. So I think it will be similar to that as soon as we're, we're ahead of the game here too. We're not ready to roll all that out and haven't fully flushed it all out. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yep.
Hey, Brian, I got a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what are we doing for scouts that don't have internet and don't have that capability? Because I got a lot of scouts that they don't have smartphones, and we don't have a lot of internet out here. It looks like we've kind of handicapped everybody.
Well, in this first swing, yes. In this first swing, there's not going to be a good option for them, except if they wanted. So we don't have the take order forms yet. If we had the take order forms, we could get those into your hands and they could take a sale like normal on the take order form. If they wanted to walk around with a notebook piece of paper and write down orders and come back to the house and plug them in accordingly, I guess you could do that. You know, and put them on once you get back to a Wi-Fi signal. Otherwise, they're just going to have to start when the regular sale starts in the latter part of July. And
Okay.
Here's
And
the
then
other piece I would add too.
my other question is you get a 5% bonus if you sell in July. Is that what I understood?
Yes.
yes.
But we don't recruit Cub Scouts until the end of August.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's
that's really
in that
kind
boat.
of you're penalizing everybody again.
So we're not penalizing anybody, but the kids that are already in the program are getting an added bonus to grow the sale, right?
Well, I don't know about other packs, but our pack doesn't meet after May, and we don't start up till like the 1st of September again. So the contact with our kids during the summer is kind of like their summer break, just like school is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just seems like every year we push this popcorn sale earlier and earlier. I mean, before we know it, we're going to be selling at spring break. I mean, we used to sell this in October and November, and now we're selling in July. It's getting hard to sell popcorn. I know you guys think $20,000, $30,000 is easy. In our small community, it's not. They're selling for every sport, every school activity, and it's just not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
So I'm not suggesting it's easy everywhere. I'm suggesting you have an opportunity to begin July 1. You don't have to choose. You don't have to do that. If you choose to do that, Trails End is offering an additional 5% commission for those that choose to do that. We understand that there are some units that aren't going to be in a position to do that. That's okay. But I didn't want you to come back to me a month from now and say, why didn't you tell me? So we're here telling you, you have the option to choose what you want to do for your pack. I would also admit, Brian, that
I understand that. It's just it's just been harder and harder every year. And I think it's why we're seeing as a council, our popcorn sales go down.
We're not seeing that as a council.
I would say that's not accurate at all.
Increase.
Oh, that's what we're seeing our end every year. It gets less and less. And I mean, we're a small troop, but we do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Understand.
Hey, Brian, why don't we get an electronic version of the order form for those that are in desperate need of a take order form?
I can do that.
We'll get that. We'll get it posted to the council Facebook page and the website for those that need it. Worst case scenario, a scout who doesn't have a smartphone but does have access to some internet could take cash sales or check sales, convert them to online sales all in one fell swoop, and use the online direct when there's that free shipping option, right? So if I'm stuck without internet and my kids can only take cash or checks, we could still go door to door in our neighborhood, take a whole bunch of orders, write down the addresses, take the cash, and then I'd put the cash in my pocket, swipe my credit card, and get the free shipping. So, I mean, there's a way around it. It's not ideal, but again, this is something new and an additional perk. You don't want to take advantage of it, that's okay.
There was a question.
Good idea.
In the chat. Please clarify, the 5% bump goes to the unit or to the scout? It goes to the unit. It's a bonus 5% commission on those sales to the unit.
Hey, Brian, I've got a couple questions. So I know last year we had like the link that you could share to your Facebook page or send via email. That's online direct, right? That will get our kids the 2% or the 2 points.
So kind of. So you have online, which you could send the link to grandma that lives out of town. She could order it online and then it would ship straight to them. That is not necessarily online direct. Okay. You going to your neighbor's house and getting them to complete a sale that is, because then you're going to take you are going to take their information and turn that into a sale, as opposed to someone doing it on their own. So the difference is who is initiating the sale. If grandma initiates the sale from an email, it's an online sale. If your scout initiates the sale from the app and they ship it to their house with a credit card payment, that is online direct. Does that make
But
sense?
in terms of, well, yeah, but in terms of like reward, the 1.5 points, 2 points for the boys. If they do the online sale, do they get 1? But online direct, they get 2.
That's how we understand it.
I would interpret it that if they do online, they get 2 points.
Okay, then I very well could be mistaken. I'll tell you.
So we'll get some clarification on
I'll
that.
get some
'cause that's a good
clarification, and
question.
when I send out the family sales guide, I'll have that in there as an answer.
Thank you. And then one more.
From their
One more-
Facebook page for Trails In, it looks like anything you do online will be shipped direct. There won't be anything like a take order that they're ordering online.
Yeah, that is correct. If you order it online, it's going to ship. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 2 point. Any online sale is going to be a 2
That
point.
would be my interpretation as well.
Okay. And then one more. So you said built into the app this year, there will be the ability for like a parent to accept cash and then say, okay, now I'm going to use my card to pay for that. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Will the boys get to 1.5 points for that? I mean, will that count as a credit sale or will that still count as a cash sale?
No, because that'll go through the system as a cash sale. You're just your scouts are reconciling with you as the Cub Master with the credit card payment.
Okay. I just want to make sure I can give my parents their answers. So thank you.
Hey,
It stops you from having to manage all the cash.
Right. No, I appreciate it. I would much rather that. I just want to make sure I have the point. Their questions are going to be about the point, so I just want to make sure I have the right information.
Sure.
Hey, Brian, somebody brought up a good point, and maybe you can get some clarification. I don't know if Trails End knows this, or Jeff, if you have a sense of this, if you want to chime in. But we get a lot of people that say they have limited data. They don't want to use the app because it's going to eat up all their data. My guess is this Popcorn app doesn't come anywhere near what streaming Netflix uses, but I don't know how much it uses. So I guess it'd be nice for us to know and be able to say, hey, taking a payment via credit card on your phone is going to use about as much internet as that emoji that you just send via text message.
Speaking not as a scout leader, but as an IT person, it'll be a little bit more than emoji, but a lot less than streaming video. You're just sending basically text information back and forth. It should not be very much, unless, because your app has all the image and stuff already loaded in it. All you're doing is sending, you got to pass all the data back and forth so you can encrypt things, but it's much less than streaming. It should be good. And remember, when you're on Wi-Fi anywhere, and yes, I know there's not much Wi-Fi out in the sticks where I live, or where some of you live, but when you're on Wi-Fi, it doesn't count for your data anyways.
Great. Thanks, Jeff.
Very good. Any other questions that we can address? I don't see any other ones in the chat. I guess we have a clarification here. So one additional point about credit cards is they mentioned on the Trails End Facebook page, parents will now have the option to pay for the entire take order on their credit card if they wanted. Yes, absolutely. If you had a parent that wanted to pay for all of their sales on their credit card and keep all of the cash, as long as everything balances out in the app and the unit gets what they're supposed to get and the council gets what they're supposed to get, and you didn't pay for the credit card with part of it and you kept the cash, then yes, I think that would be fine. A scout is trustworthy. That's the number one point in scout law. Don't steal the popcorn money.
Brian, Emily just told me there's a button in the app that you literally click that says, I want to pay off my bill to the pack.
Perfect. 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 Very good.
Last thing I would add, and some of you are probably seeing this, Trails End's running like 1 million webinars for popcorn kernels of varying different size units, varying different sales, and they're putting a ton of great info there. Emily was on one because our pack was a $40,000 seller last year, so it was a top seller group, and it's run by a couple of volunteers. One gal who sold $250,000 last year for her unit, and then another guy who's done like 125, which are just absolutely obscene. But if you get an invitation or see these, I would recommend jump on them. They're putting a lot of great data out there, and just an effort to help everybody have a great sale in any year, right? Not to mention the fact that we've got other challenges this year.
Very good. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none and hearing none, thank you guys so much for your time tonight. I do look forward to seeing everyone at one of our trainings in July. I will say that before everyone goes, if your unit is not committed yet, and when I say committed, I'm talking about you went to the Trails End website and you said, our pack, our troop is selling popcorn and I'm the contact. If your pack is not committed to selling popcorn yet, we need you to do that so we can make sure that when we're communicating to everybody, we have the right contact for your unit, that we have the right information, and we know which units are or are not selling. If your unit decides not to sell for whatever reason, and I can't imagine that you would, but if they do decide not to sell popcorn, please let us know why so we can better understand. And maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe it's a miscommunication. Something got lost in translation. But our popcorn sale is just going to be different this year, but it's still going to be important. It's still going to be important for our families because they're counting on that to help subsidize their popcorn or their expenses for the year to have a scouting program. So it's going to be vital. But if you've got questions or concerns, we can help overcome them. Like I said, just make sure that you commit to the sale through the Trails End website. And if you're not going to sell, let us know.
Hey, one last thing. Emily just reminded me that on July 1st, they're going to switch over the new product line on the app. So if you log into the app now, you're going to see the current product line. July 1st, you're going to see the images that we just showed you a minute ago. So thank you all so much. Appreciate everybody's time.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, guys.